New reporting in the New York Times details how the administration and Republicans in Congress are drafting legislation that would hand President Trump sweeping power to wage war against drug cartels he deems to be terrorists, as well as against any nation he says has harbored or aided them, according to people familiar with the matter. In essence, it would give Trump the ability to start a war with anyone he wanted without the necessary approval of Congress. Comes in the wake of his administration's highly controversial, potentially illegal military strikes on Venezuelan boats in the Caribbean, which the administration claimed, without evidence, were trafficking drugs. Joining our conversation, host of the Independent Americans podcast and founder and CEO of Independent Veterans of America, Paul Rieckhoff. Reverend Al is still with us. Paul, what do you make of this?
I think it's the most important political story in America and maybe in the world.
Okay.
The president can do whatever he wants with our military already. That's without this blank check. I had to go through the list. Just so far this year, he's made strikes in Yemen, Iran, Venezuela. We found out that in 2019 in his administration there was a Navy SEAL operation in North Korea. Then there's the unprecedented deployment of National Guard troops and federal troops here stateside. And now they're talking about Mexico. He is already not being stopped. He's got blank checks under the AUMF. He's got a Congress that's either compliant or rolling. And now they want to go a step further and ask for this total blank check, which would allow him to strike anyone he deems a narco-terrorist anywhere in the world at any time. We are so far beyond normal presidential power. The country hasn't declared war since World War II, so he can call it whatever he wants, but this is military operations and military actions that should get at least consultation with Congress. We're supposed to have a formal declaration of war, but right now we are in the most dangerous and unprecedented national security territory we've ever been in our lifetime.
I want to read you just a little bit more from the reporting. It was not clear who wrote the draft congressional authorization or whether it could pass the Republican-led Congress, but the White House has been passing it around the executive branch. The broadly worded proposal, which would grant sprawling authority to Mr. Trump for 5 years to use American military force in a drug trafficking war, has set off alarm bells in some quarters of the executive branch and on Capitol Hill, according to people who spoke on the condition of anonymity about sensitive internal deliberations. Of course it set off alarm bells. I mean, it is fundamentally changing the powers of the presidency. At this point, if Congress doesn't stand up and say, no, we will not have this, why are they showing, what job are they showing up and doing?
I think what he's actually trying to do is get more validation, get more authority, potentially even get funding behind these kinds of operations. I mean, he's got Congress rolled so much now that he's even asking for this, which is kind of like the never-ending war, global war on terrorism on steroids, right? Imagine the power that George Bush had after 9/11. He's asking for that and more with a Congress that will do anything he wants, and so far has also been unable to stop him. So even if he doesn't get this, what's stopping him from hitting Mexico right now? What's stopping him from continuing to hit Venezuela? The unfortunate reality, and why I think it's the #1 story in the country and in the world, is nothing stopping him right now.
There is a cross-section of Americans who are exhausted by conflict, and I think the proposal that the president should be able to do more is not going to sit well with Americans.
I hope not, and especially with conservatives, right? I mean, this is, you have to take it all the way through to its ultimate conclusion or its worst-case scenario. He can essentially use a nuke if he wants to, without congressional approval, with this authority, and he's threatened to do that. I mean, we're not talking about fantasy. He's threatened to do that, and he's not taking on threats that are facing Poland or other Eastern Bloc countries, but he's continuing to expand military operations in Venezuela and domestically. He's rolling out more National Guard troops into new cities. He's continuing to do that. Nothing's stopping him from doing that. And he's on or ahead of plan with a Congress and a Secretary of Defense that will greenlight anything.